Where were you when it happened? That was usually the first question when you met another survivor. Jeff Kettleman was away from home, asleep when it happened, just like me. Only he was sleeping with his secretary. Said he actually liked this new world better, liked the freedom. No more idiot boss, no nagging wife, no taxes. Jeff heard about Uktena from a yoga teacher in Baltimore.
Sounded nutty to me, but Kayla, she was a hot little number. Didn't make it past Pittsburgh, though.
Hand over the bag, lady!
Get your hands off of me!
We ran into one of those damn toll gates popping up on the freeways.
He never said it, but I knew why Jeff helped me back at the mall. He blamed himself for Kayla's death, and he wanted to make amends. Uktena, also known as the Serpent Mound, was a quarter-mile-long snake effigy, an earth sign of unknown origin. Dozens of survivors had converged on the mound. They called themselves pilgrims. It was like one of those outdoor raves. Everything built to crescendo with those fireballs, which only started happening after the fall. Strange thing was, they went off every 47 minutes to the second. And the electromagnetic discharge was so intense, it felt like you were high for a few minutes afterwards, which was obviously part of the appeal. But this wasn't just some end-of-the-world party. These pilgrims were here because they wanted to be saved. All you had to do was believe, which, in this case, meant sacrificing all your earthly possessions to the Fireball Cave. Jeff was more than happy to oblige. But after escaping New Eden, I'd had my fill of religious cults. Figured I'd just move on in the morning before the party started up again.
You were in a hotel, asleep. You don't know what happened. I do.
No! Not down there!
Another fireball was due in a matter of minutes. That boy was going to die. Everybody wants salvation, deliverance from our suffering. Some survivors believed that God or aliens were actually watching over us. Question was, could we really expect them to save us? The Serpent Mound was the opposite of New Eden. There was no leader, no one in charge. Most pilgrims didn't even know who started the party. I'd seen a boy disappear into a cave, and all I could think was, what if Kizzy needed help? There weren't a lot of parents there. Everybody claimed it wasn't their child.
But it's somebody's child. Somebody who wasn't lucky enough to survive. If we don't take responsibility for that child, who will?
Fortunately, Jeff had a conscience, or rather, a strong motivation.
Nothing like saving a kid to score points with the ladies.
Truth was, I was secretly hoping somebody would talk me out of it. This was confronting a deep-seated fear of mine. Claustrophobia. I told Jeff there was a ticking clock. We had less than 20 minutes before another fireball discharged enough electrical energy to boil our blood. The Serpent Mound was riddled with caves. Speculation was the Adena Indians used the site as a sacred burial ground, which meant the boy could have fallen into some deep hole or crevice.
Wait! Come back!
That is why I never had kids.
Despite the lunacy of the Draco theory, there was something very compelling about the Serpent Mound itself. Recent carbon dating indicated the place was around 5,000 years old. Same age as Stonehenge and the Great Giza Pyramid. Amazingly, all three structures shared a lot of the same astronomical alignments.
Hey, this place ain't safe, Russ.
Was it just a coincidence? Or were all three structures somehow connected? Maybe even built for the same reason.
Sorry, man, but I'm going back.
Soon as Jeff left, My claustrophobia really kicked in. My heart was racing. My muscles felt dead. But something kept me going. Deeper into that cave. And it wasn't just compassion. I can't explain it. But I had this feeling that boy would lead me to some great revelation. Didn't have much time left. The next fireball was going off in less than 10 minutes. Knew if I didn't get that boy out of the cave, we'd both be fried.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
I told him it wasn't his fault. I was trapped in there. I came of my own volition. But if he wanted me to help, he had to stop running away. Not sure if it was claustrophobia or the electromagnetic charge in the air. But that's when I really lost it. Everything started going screwy. The past and the present were all tangled up. I was seeing the Adena tribe take cover from some great cataclysm thousands of years ago. Possibly an earlier fall of mankind. From the hieroglyphs, it was clear the Adena believed the Serpent Mound would transport them to another planet. Or was this all just an allegory for death? Transportation of their souls to the afterworld. Figured time had finally run out. The fireball must have gone off. My whole body was tingling and hot. But at least I was still alive. Or was I? Before the fall, whenever things got too overwhelming, I'd go to a quiet place, a lakeside park near Ballard. Sometimes, though, the best place was home. But this was different. I was home, but didn't even know how I got there. What do you want from me? Why are you doing this?
It was an accident. I didn't mean to.
What was an accident? Tell me!
Wasn't sure if I was alive or dead. There was a weird dream logic to everything, but this was like no dream I'd ever had. It was so real. I could smell the coffee, Janelle's French roast.
I've been waiting for you, Russ.
Is this really happening?
Nobody knows for sure. Kizzy had that nightmare again. The one where you go to work, but never come home.
I explained. I was trying to get home. Trying desperately. But 3,000 miles, it's a long way. Even longer when people are hunting you. Kizzy?
She's just a child. She doesn't understand your need to help others.
I told them I was sorry. Sorry for ever leaving them. For not being there when this whole thing happened. For not really being there, even when I was there.
I want to be a better father, a better husband.
I forgive you, Russ. You're doing the best you can. You need to rest.
I told her there was no time. Promised I'd walk faster. No more stops, just straight home.
Take your time.
I tried to get up, to hold her. but I couldn't move.
Take your time, Russ. There are some who need you more than we do.
Then I found myself back at the St. Giles, my hotel room the night before it all happened. It was 5:16 in the morning, 1 minute before the fall. This crazy thought crossed my mind, that I'd dreamed the whole thing, that I'd wake up the next morning in New York, and everything would be normal again. I could feel the calm rolling in. I'd always been a rationalist, a seeing is believing kind of guy. But I was going through a profound change.
Russ, come on, man, wake up.
That trip to the Serpent Mound changed the way I looked at the world, my need for empirical evidence. Whatever happened there, it opened my eyes to the unseen possibilities.
He's back.
According to Jeff, I was only unconscious for about 5 minutes. We went into the cave to save the boy, just like I remembered. But about 20 feet in, Jeff said we hit a dead end. There was no way to go further, not even for a little boy.
That's when you passed out. Just went down like a redwood. Boom! I dragged your butt out of there, called for help, and that was enough excitement for the night.
It made no sense. I couldn't understand what happened to the boy.
There was no boy.
All the evidence said I just imagined the boy and everything that happened in the cave. But something told me there was more to it than that. Maybe it was some lost memory of the past or a premonition of the future. Or maybe it was just a message, a wake-up call from my own subconscious.
Take your time, Russ.
Don't tell me you're a convert.
No, that wasn't an offering to Octena. I just finally saw the value in divesting yourself of certain things. Letting go of plans and deadlines. Letting go of expectations. Jeff actually had become a convert. Said believing in something is better than believing in nothing.
Plus, the women here are pretty hot.
That watch weighed only a couple ounces, but losing it, I felt 50 pounds lighter. I'd shed some of my guilt, along with my need for a rational explanation. I was becoming a believing is seeing kind of guy. A necessary evolution considering the world that lay ahead. A world where the truths buried beneath the Serpent Mound were only the tip of an unimaginable iceberg.
I'll be waiting for you.